Hey guys, so one of our acquisition agents, Terry, is on the phone with one of our clients in a random area of North Carolina. Older lady, 81 years old, living in a hotel room. She can't even live in the house because her brother's occupying it. She doesn't really know what she wants. I want to hop on the phone because I think I have a specific buyer for this and I want to get a little more details so I can gear the property to him. I don't have too many buyers in the specific area, so if I can feed one guy and get it done, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hop on the phone and see if I can figure it out. The home value?
A closer value,
Yeah, so that's a really good question there, Deborah. So for us, we kind of go what a typical appraiser would do. We're not licensed appraisers, we're home investors. So when we're looking at properties, we do what's called a CMA report. Are you familiar with what a CMA report is? So a CMA report is, it's just a comparable market analysis. What an appraiser does is what they do is they get a certain amount of houses within a radius of your home that are similar to yours, like very apples to apples. They're trying to find other houses built in the 60s and 70s that are 3-1s and under like 1,000 square foot with an acre of land. And what they do is they try to get an average of what all the renovated homes go for to determine a value for your home. And then they also look at an as-is portion as well, because it's like, hey, if your house is not brand new, move-in ready, then you get to take off some amount of money on that. With your home, the issue is not that we can't do the CMA. We're trying to find the value for the home because we do pay market value for all the properties we purchase. The issue is that not many people in Rocky Point sell their homes, and everybody's further out on the radius. So that's why I was trying to get an understanding of what to put in your pocket, because if I can find out what amount of money works for Deborah, I can find a way to make the deal work. So do you have like a goal in mind of what you would like to put in your pocket?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would like to put $200,000, but I know I'm not going to put $200,000 in there.
I got you.
That's why I say you can ask me that. You have to tell me what maybe y'all could offer, and to see if I could take it.
Sure. Yeah.
If I can't do this right, then I was thinking about I was going to look into something called reverse mortgage. And I don't know anything about selling homes. I don't know nothing about reverse mortgage. I don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd be careful with those. All they do is it's a bank trying to give you money up front, but it comes with a bunch of pretty much a lot of gray areas. So they're going to tell you they're going to give you money, but what happens is they start building a new mortgage on your house. So they're taking away the equity to give you equity in your pocket up front. So it gets very sticky. A lot of people who are older get stuck into this trap, and then they get upside down on their property. So I'm kind of looking at the area real quick here, Deborah, and I see another 3-1 that's in your area, and it's sold for about $25,000, and there's another one that's sold for $40,000. So right now, given kind of the status of your home, that's a range I could potentially be in, is around 25 to 40.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, then. So, no, I wouldn't accept that for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Deborah, what? Yeah, no problem. And again, every property differs. So those properties, the issue is I can't have, my eyes on those properties. Those properties could be, completely destroyed inside. I don't know much about the house. I only get so much information from my side. And, I know that's what those two properties are selling for, but that's not what I'm offering you.
Right, I understand that. And I appreciate your help.
Yeah, can I ask you what's going on with the person living in the home? Are they paying rent or?
No, well, I'm going to go start. I used to live in the home. About 3 years ago, my brother's a disabled vet. About 3 years ago, he was in a bad situation. I got him out of New York. And so my mother moved here about a year ago, and she has a brand new home, but she's having some kind of mental issues, and she won't live in her house. So my health was beginning to, I was trying to take care of them somewhat. And I got a little sick. My health, I started to feel sick, and I told them I can't live in this type of environment with the drinking the beers and stuff. Like, I can't live like that. And so they refused. I mean, it won't stop. And so I could put them out. I could have them put out.
Okay.
So that's the situation. So I just probably maybe end up discharging them rent.
Gotcha. Okay. Because my question,
It's like, let me just say this. It's like they wanted me to care for them and wanted me to disregard my health issues.
oh,
And that's not nice, so I couldn't deal with that.
yeah, especially if they're living in your home like that, it sounds unjust. And are you okay in the hotel?
Yeah, I'm good here. I'll probably be staying here a few more days until I figure out what I'm going to do.
Gotcha. How much is that hotel costing you?
Well, I'm getting a little discount, so I'm paying like, cause I know the people, so I'm paying like $69 a night.
Gotcha. Okay. And I know those two houses that's over 25 and 40, they do look a little bit more beat up, but it sounds like you do have a price in mind that makes sense for Deborah.
Right, right. So I'm just gonna just rent out that. I might just rent out the rooms. You know,
Yeah.
3 rooms, just rent them out. But I appreciate your help and your time.
Sure. And Deborah, before you go, it sounded like you had a number in mind that you did need when you were hoping to get on this phone call.
You mean in reference to how much I wanted?
Correct. Yeah, because I know those comps are low in your areas, but it sounded like you had a number once I mentioned what those houses were going for.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll never get that. I mean, I would want at least 150,000, and that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna get that much. So
150,000.
yeah, it's not gonna get that much. So it's better for me
Gotcha.
to just rent out rooms.
Gotcha. Do you have a mortgage on this property?
Oh no.
Gotcha. And can I ask how you came up with the 150,000?
Well, because I looked on the websites, the different where you buy and sell, like Zulu and
Zillow, yeah.
Realtor.com and stuff. So I looked at those and seen the property value. So
Okay.
that's how I came up with such numbers.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's stuff we do take into account. You just got to be have an understanding of what Zillow and Realtor does. Is they kind of do what we do, which is like an analysis of houses. So they take the average of what like nice houses go for. So when they're looking at houses, they're taking all the houses within the area and they're just giving it an average. Typically, most home investors will maybe pay close to like tax value. So like the tax value on your house, if you do look on Zillow, if you pull it up right now, is $88,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now, if we were able to get you somewhere close to 88,000, would that something that would make sense for you?
Now what? Let me look at my tax papers. I just seen them now. What did I do? Wonder what the value. Where's taxes? Did you have my taxes pulled up? You did, right?
Yes, I can get those pulled up in 1 second.
But so
It says you're paying about $1,039 a year. Is that correct?
yeah, I was just wondering what they had valued the property for. I don't even see my tax papers. Oh, here it is. Let me see. Do they have a value? I don't even know. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they have it valued at about 95. Yeah, so they don't have it valued as much as those sites.
Yeah, and that's what the county tax assessment's going to put you at. And most of the time, you can be close to those numbers. Even if I was able to come up close to that, is that something you would even consider?
Probably.
Gotcha. So give me 1 second, Deborah. Now that we have kind of more understanding together, let me just crunch some numbers real quick. It'll take me less than 2 minutes. Just stay on the line for me, and I'm going to try to give you the best offer we can go to today, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, Deborah, 1 second.
Thank you.
What I'm actually doing is going to call the buyer to see if the buyer wants to buy this property. Originally wanted 150, got her down to 90, and we're going to call the buyer and see if they'll take it for 90. All right, bye. Yeah, put her on hold so I can do an analysis. Most of the time I do comping. I already did the comping. It's an outside area of a major market. I know the buyer in the major market, so I called him to see if he knows the area. He actually lives 20 minutes away. Gave me a general idea of what he would pay. Just called him again to see if he take it for 100. He wants to go see it. So I probably have to lock this property up first, but based on what they're telling me, with new roof, new AC, seems to be a deal anyways. I'd rather not send the buyer out right now and get tied down to one buyer because there could be multiple buyers. So we'll see what happens. We're going to go back on the phone and pitch her. Hey, Deborah, you still there?
It's actually bad.
Hey, one quick question while I just tie these numbers together. I know the house is built in the 60s. Have you ever had any like termite damage or anything like that to the property?
Not as I know of.
Okay, gotcha. And then the windows, are they original windows or have you upgraded the windows at all?
Yeah, I've changed all the windows in there in that house.
Gotcha. Do you remember when you did that?
I mean, some areas.
Probably 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago.
3-4 years ago. Gotcha. Okay, great. And I know you're in a hotel room right now. Do you have access to a computer or do you have a smartphone?
I do.
Okay, great. Just so if I put everything together that you see it in black and white, just tying in my numbers here real quick, Deborah. Just give me about 30 more seconds, okay?
Okay.
All right, 1 second. So we just asked them a question just to show them that, hey, we are working on the property, builds a little more anticipation, and then I always try to check if they're ready to be in front of a computer to look at a contract. And I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything on this property. All right, let's hit it with the number. I think I could probably go up to 80, but we're going to start a little lower. All right, Deborah. So congratulations. We were able to get your property approved for a cash offer. We are coming in at $71,525.
Okay, let me write it down. $71,520.
$71,525.
Okay. Give me an hour. Let me think, and I'll make a decision in 1 hour. Can you call my number back?
Gotcha. And do you have any questions before I let you go in regards to how our process works, what our company does?
Well, how does it work, and what does? Because I asked the lady, do y'all build big buildings on the property? What does?
Great question. We do a variety of things. So for us, we do have a new build construction team. That's probably not the goal for this property. Mainly we focus on is fix and flipping houses or buying them and renting them out to tenants. So for this property, it would probably be geared to those buckets, which is either, hey, does this house need to be fixed up and then we resell it on the market, just like you see it on TV, or fits a rental portfolio. So if a house is cleaner, doesn't need as much work, and we can put it for rent for people, then we'll just offer affordable housing like that. The process simply works like this, Deborah, is once we go and get an agreement together to buy your house for the $71,525, what we'll do next is you'll go to our transactions department and they'll walk your hold your hand through the entire transaction. So we're going to want to take photos of the property, make sure everything you told us about the home, Deborah, is true, like the new roof, the new AC you installed, the condition of the property, and then we send your paperwork to a closing attorney. So they're a third-party company that they make sure they take care of you, they take care of us, and then make sure you have all your appropriate documents for the property, the deeds and the title and all that. They'll get all that sorted out with you. And then for us, they'll make sure they get our financials and the documents for us to purchase the home. It typically, on our agreements, it's 30 business days to close from when we get a contract. And then we are going to do a due diligence period. And then you and I will set a date for closing, Deborah, so that way you can get your money at the closing table.
And now how much would I have to pay? Like,
Great.
Like closing, do I have to pay like something called closing costs, or I would get the whole 71, right?
That's a great question. Yes, the $71,525. If you don't have a mortgage and you're up to date on your taxes, you'll net pretty close to that number. Anything closing costs related, the title, the closing attorney, that's actually covered by my company. So we handle all of that. The only thing that would ever come out of your side, Deborah, is proration of taxes. So that's standard for most homeowners, is you're going to pay your taxes until the day you close. So if you haven't paid them in advance, you will owe a small amount to that. I think your taxes were roughly $1,100 a year, so it'll probably be a couple $100. Okay, perfect. And then if the city has any taxes, ordinance taxes, stuff like that, you'll have to be responsible for that. But if you have no mortgage and no liens or judgments, you'll net very, very close to the $71,525.
Oh, okay. And so what I would like to do, right, is if I make a decision and I'm gonna make this
Walker,
in an
start writing
hour,
this up.
I would take some of that money because I know I can
She
buy
needs to think about it. Her dog's
another
barking.
piece of land, and then I will go from there with trying to get me something put on that land.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Let me ask you, is the 30 business day closing something that's ideal for you?
Well, that's why I would have to wait that long, right? So I wouldn't have no other choice, right?
Yeah, that is pretty much standard for us. It's on or before 30 business days. So, Deborah, we can definitely close sooner if all the cards are dealt the correct way. I've seen us close properties in as close as 2 weeks. But we do put on the agreements 30 or more business days. However, with some homeowners who have, siblings living in the property, sometimes they do request a little bit longer. But if the 30 business days works for you, we're good with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, then. So I'm going to look for you to call me back in an hour. I'm going to call my friend, and then I'll talk to you in an hour.
Gotcha. And let me make sure I have your email correct, Deborah. I have at.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll have Terry let her know that you've been approved for $71,525. Do you still have that pen and paper?
No, I'm outside walking my dog.
Okay, cool.
I might do another.
Yeah, so we have what's called a virtual withdrawal number. So this is the money is now designated to your file here. So it's your money. So if we buy other houses, your money is allotted to you. That virtual withdrawal number is 74498. So again, that's 74498. We hold your funds. We'll give you the hour to think about it. But that's your money. So if you call in at any times, you give us that virtual withdrawal number, and we can guarantee you that your offer stands at the $71,525.
And you say it's let me write it down. Type it in. 77458.
Nope, 74498.
74498. 744. Okay then. Okay, I got that.
All right, Deborah. Any more questions before I let you go?
That'll be on. What's your name again?
My name is Anthony. I'm one of the directors here.
Okay, thank you, and I'll talk to you in a little bit, Anthony.
Thanks, Deborah. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Your name didn't come up on title, or I can't even find it. Am I looking at the right house? Did I make an offer on something I'm not supposed to?
No, this is definitely the right one.
Okay.
This is definitely the right one, but I had to pull it up on Land Glide as well. Owner occupied 1.2 acres.
That's her name?
Okay. Yeah, because she said, her dad owned consecutive parcels. She gave him this one, right? So there's a couple of other Armstrongs, right along the way.
Okay.
So what did the contractor say? You liked it?
She liked the number. She's walking her dog. She was walking her dog outside of her hotel, and then she had to make a quick phone call, and then she said call her in exactly in an hour, so right before 1 o'clock. Yep. I don't know if that's really a good number. Comps are very hard. I had to go a mile out. There's one that was for 159. Those are 3-1. I talked to our buyer. I told him 100. He says it sounds okay. They live 20 minutes by, so maybe it's something they buy just because it's close by.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping on. He says he can be there 2, 3 o'clock if we need to. I could probably get him to take photos quickly, but let's get her to sign up first before I even call them back. Nothing. She said she can get him out. He said, fuck him. He ain't paying rent and he drinks too much. That's what she said.
Ooh, okay.
So, and she's like, if I had to keep the property, I would just rent it by the room, but that's not going to happen. She's living in a hotel. She should go live in there. So.
Okay, got it.
So call seems like a success. We gave the lady an offer of $71,000. We believe the home's valued around $150,000. It was hard to get a number out of her, so what I did is I price anchored her with some very, very low comps that's all in the area. I initially told her, no way, I'll never accept that, because all sellers have a number. They just don't want to tell you. So I had to find a different approach to get a number out of her. I did mention tax value, and she's like, well, that seems reasonable. Still didn't give her tax value. Still went underneath it. She likes the offer. She wants to look at the contract. Terry's preparing it, and then we're going to hope that she signs. We'll call her back in an hour. If you guys want to see more live calls like this and negotiation tactics, like and subscribe.